we will learn how heat energy plays a role in thermodynamic process. Okay, so how heat energy plays a role in thermodynamic process. Does the heat energy depends on initial and final state of the thermodynamic system? If it doesn't depend, on what it depends? Easy. Consider an ideal gas enclosed in a cylinder fitted with a movable, frictionless and massless piston. Okay, as usual. But here we'll be precisely taking an ideal gas. A gas, or we'll put it like this. We will take a real gas as well. We can take a real gas. Okay? Real gas means which does not obey all the laws simultaneously. There is Boyle's law, Charles' law and all that. At all temperatures and pressure. So, what we'll do, here we'll take a gas, we will enclose it in a cylinder fitted with a massless, frictionless, movable piston. Okay, fine. Then what we'll do here, students will try to increase the heat energy of the gas by heating it externally. When heat energy is applied or supplied to it externally, okay, fine. But the temperature is not allowed to increase, or the process is carried out very slowly, provided that the temperature is kept constant. Means heat energy is supplied to the gas, but provided the temperature is slowly, whatever the process is taking, it is taking place at a very slow rate, keeping the temperature constant, or the gas is supplied with heat energy under isothermal conditions. Then what happens? The gas undergoes expansion from initial volume Vi to final volume Vf. That's it. What we'll do? We will take the same gas. Okay, we'll take the same gas in the same cylinder fitted with the same piston, but here the cylinder is covered. The cylinder is covered by an insulator, meaning the heat energy or the temperature of the gas is not allowed to be exchanged with the surroundings. Okay, we are taking the same gas with the same initial volume and fitted with the same type of piston with the same initial volume. Okay, what happens? Let me make a partition in the cylinder itself. Okay, let me make a partition not in the gas. We'll make a partition in the cylinder itself such that the partition is highly thin and easily breakable. What type of partition you are going to fix inside the cylinder such that it is easily breakable and very thin. Okay. Then let Vi be the initial volume of the gas as in the previous case, that is figure A. Let me call this as figure B. So all the conditions of the gas in the figure B are same as that of the figure A, except that the cylinder is surrounded in this figure B. The cylinder is surrounded by a insulator. The cylinder is surrounded by an insulator, no doubt, and we are going to make a partition inside the cylinder which is highly, we'll put it like this, highly breakable and very thin. And the volume of the gas in the cylinder is also same. Okay? What happens? The volume of the gas, we'll put it like this, let the volume of the gas increase to Vf by the breakage of that partition. Let me say, due to the gas enclosed only on one side, the Vi is the initial volume of the gas only in one section or on one side of the partition, and the other side of the partition is empty, students. But the gas is of same amount with same initial volume as in the previous case. But only that we have made two partitions inside the cylinder. One side contains all that gas and the remaining side same quantity, same volume of gas, and the remaining side is totally empty. Are you okay here? The other side is totally empty. Now let me say suddenly the partition breaks because it's breakable and very very thin. So due to highly pressurized gas on one side of the partition, let the partition break. Naturally the gas undergoes expansion to final volume Vf, but here the gas has neither done work, neither heat energy is supplied to that gas. Okay, neither we are supplying heat energy to the gas, neither the gas has performed any sort of work, but the volume of the gas increases from Vi to Vf. It's noted that the initial and the final volume of the gas remains same. As in the previous case, the temperature of the gas also remains same. Such an expansion of the gas as in figure B. Figure B shows the expansion of the gas without the supply of heat energy and without performance of any work. Okay, such an expansion of the gas is called as a free expansion. Like for example, the bursting of an inflated balloon. ताबडतोब तुम्ही जर फोडून टाकला, then that is free expansion of the gas. Next point, whether it is a free expansion or whether it is an expansion due to heat energy. Students, what we are observing here? We are observing that the initial and the final volume of the gas in both the cases are same. The temperature is also same. What has changed? In the first case, the path followed is different, and in the second case, the path followed by the system to change its thermodynamic state is different, which means that heat energy depends on the path of the thermodynamic state, because you observe that the initial and final volume of the gas remains the same because we have not changed the temperature. Therefore, the initial and final volume of the gas in both the cases has been remained same. Hence, what does heat energy depend on? Only and only the path. The path followed to change the state or the thermodynamic state of the system, which is a gas here. Here, we are supplying externally heat energy, and here we are allowing the gas to undergo free expansion. So, we'll put here like this, that the heat energy depends on the path followed by the thermodynamic. What is the conclusion of this? That the heat energy supplied to the gas depends on the path followed by the thermodynamic system. That's it. Concept clear? This is point number 1. Okay? Next, students, concentrate here. What we are going to discuss is the next part. We are going to discuss something called as irreversible, or we'll put here like this. Thermodynamic state of the system in thermodynamic equilibrium is defined by 3 important variables, that is pressure, temperature and volume. They are called as the state variables. It's not necessary that we have to change all the 3 variables. We can change 2 variables, that is pressure, volume, pressure, temperature, or volume, temperature, keeping one variable constant, and we can change the thermodynamic state from initial to final. Are you okay? This is the conclusion for so far. Next, we are going to discuss is what is an irreversible process. Students, irreversible process is what? Concentrate here. Okay, we'll put it like this, that when 2 bodies, what is an irreversible process? Irreversible process. Easy to understand. Consider 2 bodies placed in contact with each other, but with different temperatures, such that the temperature of the first body is greater than the other body. The two bodies are in contact. Okay. As per a normal observation, heat energy from the hot body will flow to the cold body until both of them attain thermodynamic equilibrium. Means until both of them attain the same temperature. Attain the same temperature. But when the hot body loses heat to the cold body, it becomes cold and permanently. It will never be able to become hot as it was initially. Similarly, when the cold body takes up the heat energy from the hot body, it turns hot. It will not be able to reach or attain its initial condition. Means, students, a process where the initial condition of the system cannot be regained back is called as a irreversible process. So what is an irreversible process? Most of the chemical reactions are reversible, students. So let me clear this. So what is an irreversible process? Where the initial conditions of the system or the gas or the reaction cannot be recovered back. Like for example, once the heat energy is lost by the hot body, job is over. The hot body will become cold. It will never be able to become hot again. Okay. So such a process is called as an natural, I am speaking about. It's called as an irreversible process. On the other hand, students, we can convert water into ice. We can convert water into steam. We can convert ice into steam. We can convert water into directly, we'll put it like this. We can convert one form of water into another. How? It's not that only ice can be converted to water. By changing certain state variables, we can convert even water back to ice. Such a process is called as a reversible process. Means by changing certain state variables, we can regain back the initial state of the system. Like for example, as ice can be converted into water by supplying heat energy, similarly water can be converted back to ice, that is the original form, by removal of heat energy. Such a process in which the initial state of the system can be recovered back is called as a reversible process. Ends the job. Are you okay? This is one thing here. So, this is it. We will continue with the remaining tomorrow. Bye.